Since 2005, 2006, the horsepower has increased with the Ridgeline, a complete facelift for 2021. Today, Ocean Honda has given us the 2022 Honda Ridgeline rtl-e in lunar silver metallic, standard all-wheel drive, Honda's one-size-fits-all mid-size adventure truck with rivals like your Chevy Silverado, the Hyundai Santa Cruz. But the things that we have to take in consideration is the towing capacity, the driving capability, the interior that has room to fit 5, updates like navigation, climate control settings, being able to fit the back seats all the way up and have a flat floor for more cargo and even more cargo inside the cargo bed, which makes this an all-round car slash truck. But which one's going to be your best options? I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rods, and I'm going to go over all the specs and details, starting now. The new Honda Ridgeline rtl-e has turned up the heat for the competition. What they brought from 2021 is a more aggressive fascia, starting off with the grille. It's going to have the gloss bars in between. You're going to get the chrome that's going to go right into your LED headlamp assembly, working down the lower with your functional side curtain that goes over these 18-inch gray alloy wheels. And then you have the matte black that's going to surround underneath the rocker panels that goes all the way to the back with your new updated dual exhaust outlets, towing up to 5,000 pounds. The Chevy Colorado will be up to 7,700 pounds with the Duramax diesel, so that one will be a little bit more. The matte black is going to be on the lower with the gloss black in the center, ground clearance at over 7 inches. It's nearly 8 inches. Now, the best will be the Santa Cruz, unless you do the Colorado Trail Boss package. That will give you an extra inch and a skid plate. But the setup and design we have here is going to be a little bit more friendly. The width is going to be the biggest at 78.6 and the tallest at 70.8 inches. Weight distribution at 57.1 to 42.9 inches. The front disc reading at 12.6 inches. The rear is going to be at 13. They do offer an HPD package, which will flare out the fenders and the rockers, giving you the gold wheels. So you'll have a different setup. What we have here: brake actuated limited slip differential, a McPherson strut front suspension, a multi-link rear suspension, a unibody construction, intelligent traction management, intelligent variable torque management, all-wheel drive, or your IVTM4. You'll have the chrome and the gloss. It's going to be a bit of a mixture on the door handles as well. Same color paint is going to be on the mirror caps, and on the lower you'll get that gloss black because of the rtl-e. This one is not going to be the longest that goes to the Colorado, a length at 210.2 inches, a wheelbase at 125.2 inches. What I do like is with the refresh, they've added this piece right here on the back, so it gives a little bit more of a sports styling. We have the tri-fold bed cover, LED tail lamps. Payload is going to be over 1,500 pounds. The best will be the Santa Cruz. So when you're thinking about these trucks, literally each one has its own gym. We do have a spare tucked underneath here, going inside your cargo bed. It is going to be the longest at 64 inches, a width at 60 inches, a height of 16.7 inches, between the wheel well housing at 50 inches, giving us a total of 33.9 cubic feet. The availability to fit a 4x8 foot sheet of plywood flat on the bed floor, which is pretty much the only truck that can do it in the mid-size sector. Going inside again, you'll have a little cargo underneath here, so it just gives even more storage capacity. V6 naturally aspirated. Let's go inside and hear that exhaust note. The The Honda Ridgeline definitely gives us the striking style of an adventure truck, one size fits all. Same thing with the power options. When we're looking at it from the rival perspective, the Chevy Colorado will have multiple engine options. The same thing with the Hyundai Santa Cruz. Honda's decided to back the performance. V6 producing 280 horsepower and 262 pound-feet of torque. That's paired to a 9-speed shift-by-wire automatic transmission achieving 18 to 24 mpgs. That's good for a 0 to 60 around 6.2 seconds. Quarter mile at 15 seconds flat, which is better than the Chevy Colorado. Top speed 111 miles per hour. Stopping distance 70 to 0 at 186 feet, which is better than the Chevy Colorado. So when you're looking for your mid-size adventure everyday truck, I mean, this has everything that ticks all the boxes and it fits right in the criteria. Let me know in the comments what you think about the 2022 Honda Ridgeline rtl-e. As we go into the interior, go over the tech, and take this for our test run. Entering inside the Ridgeline rtl-e with headroom at 39.5 inches, legroom at 40.9 inches. It's black bucket leather front seats, 10-way power adjustment for the driver, 4-way power adjustment for the passenger. They're heated. We got the perforated, we got the contrast stitching in white. The cushion on the seat is comfortable. The dash is flat. It mimics the Odyssey, which is the same powertrain, and the drive to it, which you'll see in just a bit, is going to be very pleasing in the sense that it's not going to be truck-like, which you're going to see. Navigation, we're going to be set with an 8-inch infotainment screen. We do have the pinch and we do have the swipe, click into your home button so you can see all the apps we have. We have Honda Link, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Sirius XM, streaming Bluetooth audio. Switch it to reverse. You do have trajectory. You can make it a larger screen or you can project it just for the towing. And the way the infotainment screen is positioned, it does a good job in blocking from the sun because gloss black is all over it, only in the center. I wish that they added it on the side air vents as well, so it would give a little bit more of a flare. You do have an aluminum look that's going to be underneath it with your tri-climate control settings. The only disadvantage with the tri-climate control settings, you have to do everything here. You can't do anything back there. I guess it works because the passenger can take care of that. You got a storage tray underneath it. You have your wireless charging pad, 12-volt USB, your shift-by-wire, the aluminum look around all your cup holders. A 16.9-ounce water bottle fits without any issue. I would say a 42-ounce can fit as well. You do have the nice armrest, so it's pretty soft. They do adjust, so that is a nice attribute because it makes it easier for anyone that's shorter or taller. Slide this open, and you have a storage tray that you can move back and forth. You have a 12-volt and another USB. You can fit a tablet standing on its side. That's how deep the storage is. And then on the top, you basically have a tray that you can write any notes that you need if you're taking this for construction. But if you're using it for family use, definitely a truck that can do everything. Steering wheel's leather wrap, multi-function. You're going to have the silver inlays, paddle shifters. The gauge cluster can go through an array of information for the driver, anything that you need, even your turn-by-turn navigation. Your blind spot monitoring are going to be inside on the door panel. It's going to be harder materials, memory for the driver, and you're going to have a little bit more of a soft texture where you rest your elbows or your armrest. One touch up and down for the front windows, 2 storage tiers that you can fit a large phone and a drink. The second storage tier, huge pocket. I mean, you really have a lot of storage capacity in the front. We have a moonroof. Let's see how I look in the back. For the back seats, I'm at 38.8 inches of headroom, 36.7 inches of legroom. I fit relatively fine. This is the best in comparison for the review today in leg space for the back seats. Elbows are going to be nice and soft, especially here in the center. You have cup holders that can fit about a 20-ounce and another little storage pocket here that you can fit a box of mints or some chocolates. And you got a storage tier above your air vents and your USB ports here. Storage behind both of the front seats. The floor is completely flat. You could fold these seats up at a 60-40, so you could really maximize storage capacity and make this pretty much like a third trunk because you have 2 in the back. Door panel, harder materials. You're going to have 1 cup holder, 1 touch down, and a storage pocket just for your larger cell phone. Otherwise, nothing underneath it. And really, I can understand why, because the way I'm sitting, I can't even hardly reach down in between it because I'm pretty snug. Let's see how I look in the center. Sitting into the center, headroom is absolutely no issue. Legroom, I'm pretty much against the armrest for the captain seats in the front or against the back of the front seats in the position that I'd be sitting. I'm blocking the central vents and your USB sharing feet butt shoulder space, but for the most part, it can work out. The difference between this and the competition is it's not as wide in the rear, but the leg space still is the best. So fitting 3 adults my dimensions in the back can be done. Very similar to the Hyundai Santa Cruz is that you have storage underneath the bed also. So you have optimal storage capacity and you can still fit bags underneath here. So if you don't have room in the front, everything can still fit underneath the 60/40. Put the seats down and relax and enjoy your ride. Taking the 2022 Honda Ridgeline rtl-e out for our test run. Nice things about this particular brand and vehicle is when you get into the level of an rtl-e, you're going to get pretty much all the bells and whistles, more or less. If you need to get more of a styling cue, you go to the HPD, and then you'll get some unique wheels, you'll get some rockers that flare out a little bit, and also the wheel wells flare out too. So they do add some aesthetics. They don't change any of the power options. That's the only disadvantage that I see. So when you go into the other brands, meaning the Chevy Colorado, you do have different engine options. And the same thing with the Hyundai Santa Cruz. You can even do a turbocharge. The visibility part, you can see everything really good in the front. Honda does a great job with the way they push the A-pillars back, and they even give you a side window above the blind spot monitoring as well. And all the windows are large in this vehicle. Stop in the middle of the road, here we go. As for the wind noise, you hear a little bit filtering in through the wheel well. It's pretty common in most vehicles nowadays. The drive, very car-like, which is a great attribute when you're going on a long journey. Engine note, you can hear pretty good, especially whenever you get onto the throttle. So I do like the setup that Honda's done because it gives you that adventure yet mid-size pickup truck all blended in with a car-like ride. So you're going to go over impurities at a low speed or a high speed. It's going to really be soft compared to the rivals. It's not going to be as truck-like, which if you're trying to get your feet wet for the first time buying a truck, this is something to look at. Here we go again. The seats are comfortable. The torque doesn't push you back too immensely. As for the dynamics, it's going to be obviously boaty because this is a truck. But I mean, you set up high enough. Clearance is good. Payload is good. Towing as well. So I mean, you have pretty much all the blends that you would need because you could tow a small boat. Now there is 3 things I like and 3 things that I dislike, because anything more than that, I'd be buying this vehicle. To start off with, the 3 things that I like is the interior, how much space that you really have. When you're looking at it to the rival perspective, you can still fit things underneath the back seat, which is something that a lot of truck companies don't really do that. And it just makes this a lot more usable, especially the fact that you have more or less like 3 cargos, because you could put it underneath there, you could put it underneath the bed, and you could put it inside your bed. The second thing that I like is if you're not into buying a truck and you wanted an SUV, but then you said, you know what, I kind of want to have something that I have a bed, you can do that with this, and it actually feels like a sedan. That's the drive to it. It's the same powertrain as the Odyssey. The platform, it's unibody, so it's going to be a little bit more forgiving. You're not going to hear so much of the rugged outside noise. It's going to be more quiet and calm. The last thing that I like about the vehicle is how everything is inside. The blind spot monitoring, I don't have to look outside on the side view mirror. It's right here inside as well. Everything is pretty much focused. The only thing that I would like to see is maybe add a heads-up display, add a few little attributes, maybe change the gauge cluster, because the price point, you're starting to escalate to near $50,000, and this one is a little bit over 50 grand whenever you get into the rtl-e. And for the brakes, longer vehicle, but it does a decent job. The braking is actually better than the Colorado. Turn radius and more or less a stop point is going to get about 2 apart to 3 lanes. Give it some go. Three things that I dislike has to start off with the fact that they don't offer any other power option, because the gas consumption is not the best. It's actually the least. The 0 to 60 is not the best. It's also nearly the least. If you gave a different power option, it just would make it a little bit more friendly, I would say, in the economics for your MPGs. Plus, you would be able to get an MSRP a little bit less in the price point. The second thing that I dislike about the vehicle, I actually got a comment about this on a Honda Ridgeline, and testing them, because I've done multiple of them, I never actually put it, but it is true. When you put it into drive or reverse, there's a substantial lag, because this is a push-by-wire automatic transmission. It's not turbo or anything like that. It's naturally aspirated. However, because you're putting it in by a button, when you put it in park, put it into drive, you have to wait a few seconds for it to engage. So if you're in a pinch trying to do a U-turn in the middle of the road, this could hold you up comparing it to the rival. The last thing that I dislike about the vehicle is the 3-zone climate control, because there's really not that much of a point. Like I was saying, in the interior, you have to do it through the front here. You can't do it in the back. So it kind of makes it a little bit of a disadvantage in the sense of the third climate control being for the rear. I do wish that they offered a package to give you a little bit more off-roading performance in the model, but you could do things aftermarket yourself. You don't need any rutting boards. It's not that high off the ground. The drive is very quiet, seamless. I mean, just listen. I'd like to thank Ocean Honda for giving us this 2022 Honda Ridgeline rtl-e for our car review. If you're already a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Hawkeye community. If not, click the next video, the subscribe button. Check out the details, merchandise, website, and everything we do here at Hawkeye Rides.